So right here in Cain's statement in the interview about what, he's talking about his own sentence. In that conversation where he's talking about what he did and his willingness to accept responsibility, what he's actually talking about here is what happened to his kid. So I'm going to read that statement right now. Right, Jesse on fire. Welcome back. So my goodness gracious, I literally walked in the door from Cancun and the alert came through that Cain Velasquez has been sentenced. He is going to prison. However, I think that the sentence is as close to best case scenario as you're going to possibly get. So I don't want to make the same mistake that I made yesterday, which is to not at least go through the case briefly for people who might not remember the details. So very quickly, I'm just going to explain what happened. So Cain Velasquez's son was going to a daycare that they had used for a very long time. Very credible daycare, had never had any issues. The woman who owned it, I believe was like 70 years old. She had her 40-something-year-old son move back in with her, and that guy had been accused of assaulting Cain Velasquez's son. Like, the bad kind, PDF file style, okay? Like 100 times too. It was really gnarly. Like not twice, 100-something times. So the guy got arrested and the prosecution did not do a great job explaining to Cain's family what was going on. And Cain and his family found out the guy had been released from prison. Cain, some speculation here, but he probably went to this guy's house, and when this dude and his stepfather got into their car to drive away to go get to get his ankle bracelet put on, Cain has no idea what they're doing. He just sees the guy, he's sitting out front of his house. Every instinct he has is to pick the guy up and just break him in half. And when they start driving away, Cain starts chasing him, and when he couldn't get them to pull over, he started shooting at the car. He didn't hit the guy who was accused of this, but he did hit the stepfather in the hand. Very serious injury to the guy's hand. And, that's what happened. So Cain pled guilty to attempted murder and assault. He was facing decades in prison, 40 years. When he pled guilty, he signed a paper saying that he acknowledged that he was facing 40 years in prison for the crime that he was pleading no contest to. So, that's what he was facing. I let myself believe that there was a chance he might actually get time served. I'll explain to you exactly why. And the reason that I think it's important for us to discuss it is because I don't think people understand how close Cain was to never getting out, potentially, or at the very least getting decades in prison. And that has everything to do with the judge that was presiding over his case initially versus now. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about, because bottom line, first person assigned to his case, she was going to bury him, dude. She was going to bury him. He was going to be made an example of. I don't think that I'm making any kind of hyperbolic speculation here when I show you how I know that that's the case. But I'll tell you exactly what his, I'm sure in the title, you'll probably already know, but he was sentenced to 5 years in prison. And I'm going to tell you exactly what that looks like. We're going to read the article. And by the way, before I even get into this, tomorrow I'm going to do a live stream with Dubs. If you guys are unfamiliar with his channel, he was a Southern Mexican gang member who did 24 years in California prison, Pelican Bay, Old Folsom. Literally, if you follow any of the prison stuff, he did 9 years in the Pelican Bay SHU. Okay. I don't need he specifically never talks about the structure of the organizations that end up in the SHU and, why they were putting people there. But if you know anything about that world, his credibility is bulletproof. And so when I have him on, he's going to talk about exactly what Cain Velasquez is in for when he goes inside, what he's going, where he's going to be housed, given the seriousness of his offense. Because at the end of the day, he got 5 years. But he's still going in for attempted murder. Okay. So where he's going, he's not going into a level 1. He's going in with people who have serious crimes because that's the law. But I want to tell you why I think this is absolutely best possible case scenario. So we're going to get right into it. This is a case that I followed very, very closely. So closely, though, that I didn't realize that when he was given bail, that it was a different judge that did it. I knew he got bail, but I hadn't realized that it was a different judge. And so when I say I followed it closely, what I meant was I was hoping very much that he was going to beat this case, or at the very least have a situation like this or time served. So listen, I want to go into the details of his sentence, and then I want to talk to you guys about my feelings on the case and, you know, like as a father, why this was so important to me and I'm sure to a lot of you guys. So Cain Velasquez was sentenced to 5 years in prison on Monday after pleading no contest to a variety of charges, including attempted murder, following his initial arrest back in 2022, according to multiple reports. The sentencing brings an end to a 3-year-long saga after Velasquez was hit with numerous charges, including premeditated attempted murder, felony assault, and gun-related charges. Velasquez appeared in court alongside his family and his attorney before the sentence was handed down by Judge Arthur Bocanegra. Now, shout out to that judge and shout out to all of you guys who have subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it. It's very helpful, helps with the algorithm. And anybody who wants to like this video, that's also very helpful. And I need it because I just got back from Cancun. Thank you guys. Now, some of you guys may have seen my live stream yesterday, but I went through this in detail, who this judge is and why. This guy deserves tremendous credit for this. I knew this was going to happen, or at the very least, I was very confident he was going to give a very low sentence. If you watched the whole live stream yesterday, I actually put it in members only because I just, you know, the live stream was, here's what I think he's going to get sentenced. So once he now is sentenced, I put it in members only. It's very long. There's no reason for anybody to watch it because now there's no reason to speculate, you know. But I'm going to go through that information again right now because, again, I'm going to show you who his original judge was, and she was going to bury him. Pronouns in the bio, okay? Pronouns in the bio. Associate of UFC. Dana White paid for his defense, okay? What do you think about pronouns in the bio and Dana White's direct association with Trump? How do you think that was going to play out for Cain Velasquez? You know, and the fact that she wouldn't grant him bail. So we're gonna get into all that. I'll show you her picture and who she was. So prosecutors in the case were seeking 30 years to life in prison while Velasquez's defense attorney sought probation and time served. In the end, Velasquez gets a 5-year sentence behind bars. The ordeal surrounding the former UFC heavyweight champion started when he was first arrested in 2022. After he went on an 11-mile high-speed chase pursuing a car containing Harry Galarte, a man accused of molesting the fighter's son at a daycare owned by his mother. Galarte faces separate charges of his own for child molestation, but after his arrest, he was released on bond against the advice of prosecution. That led to the high-speed chase. We talked about this earlier in the video. So in this article, I actually just switched over. He gets minus time served. So he's actually going to serve significantly less than 5 years. I'm realizing right now. So he served, as I remember, 18 months, I think, or at least a year, and he'll probably do 80, I think it's 80%. I actually just hit up Dubs to find out, so he's going to text me throughout this, and I'll tell you exactly how much he's going to have to do. So there were 70 spectators on hand in the courtroom, according to KTVU Fox 2. Impact statements from Velasquez, his 15-year-old daughter, and his wife were read, in addition to statements from shooting target Harry Galarte and his family. Wow. So they had the guy who is accused of touching Cain's kid in the courtroom with Cain, reading a victim statement. Okay, like with their whole family there. That's wild. That is wild. While prosecutors asked the judge for 30 years to life, he handed out his final ruling after a lunch recess. Yeah, man, it took forever. I was checking all day, man. So here's the details on exactly what happened with the injury. The gunfire from Velasquez penetrated the Galarte family. The Galarte's vehicle struck Galarte's stepfather, Paul Bender, causing injury to the man's arm. The Galarte family has repeatedly voiced fear for their lives. They don't have to worry about that, dude. He's not coming back. Okay, so he actually only spent 9 months incarcerated in the jail. Okay, so and I just got word from Dubs. He got 5 years. I doubt he goes to prison. His leg monitor counts as his custody time. It's been 2 years. He gets day for day. His leg monitor counts as in custody time. It's been 2 years. He gets day for day. Huh. Wow. Okay, so... Okay, that's interesting. We're not really 100% sure exactly how long he's going to get because Dubs is saying that the time that he had the leg monitor on counts. So he was in custody. He was actually inside for 9 months. He's been out. So he got arrested in 2022. I mean, damn, dude, that's pretty goddamn close. That's 2.5 years. It's at least 2.5 years. So we'll find out. I mean, we'll get more information tomorrow when I have Dubs on. We'll know exactly how much time he's going to do. I'm sure more information is going to come out tonight. And we still have to talk about Conor McGregor faces 7 years in Irish prison. So he remained on GPS monitoring and was permitted to partake in various professional wrestling matches, MMA related events. So Velasquez said his statement going in was, what I did was not correct. I understand that. I paid, and I'll pay whatever else as far as what I have to do to pay all that back. I don't think I can pay it back, but I can always learn from my mistakes and help others. It's just information that you never know. Anybody, trust your kids, have that open communication with your kids. When you do go to the bathroom with he's talking about, okay, so he's talking, so right here in Cain's statement in the interview about what, he's talking about his own sentence. In that conversation where he's talking about what he did and his willingness to accept responsibility, what he's actually talking about here is what happened to his kid. So I'm going to read that statement right now. All right, so here it is, okay? Trust your kids. Have that open communication with your kids. When you do go to the bathroom with them when they're very young, you can work your way in there as far as talking to them about what's appropriate and what is not, so they know to tell you, and they can always tell you whenever something is not correct. So as far as that goes, it's basically that the more we get consciously aware of ourselves, the more that light shines on dark things, especially things like that. Because that's exactly what happened to his kid, or at least is what reportedly happened to his kid. The guy hasn't gone to trial yet, but that the guy was going into the bathroom with his kid, and so that's what that is. Okay, so even with the family and what they've done, I can't have hate like that for them, because there are things that I have to move on to and give love to my kids and give love to the people around. I've got to share this with everybody, so I can't give hate to them all at all. I wish them healing in the best way, whatever that is. I wish that for them. I understand that they have traumas as well. It's not right to spread it. No, I'm glad they themselves have stopped, because they can't practice anymore as far as daycare with my own time. I've forgiven them and everything else, and I know my kids are great. Man, this is heavy, dude. In addition to attempted murder, Velasquez had been charged with shooting at a motor vehicle or aircraft, assault with a firearm, 3 counts, he's only shot 3 times, assault with a deadly weapon, 3 counts. I thought he shot 8 times. Willfully discharging a firearm from a vehicle, 1 count, and carrying a loaded firearm with intent to commit felony. He faced 20 years to life for the attempted murder charge. Galarte has pleaded not guilty to 1 charge of lewd acts with a minor and is set for a June 2nd trial. There's also a separate civil lawsuit filed by the Velasquez against the Galarte family. Okay, so here's the thing, okay? And I cannot, before I even say this, I cannot stress enough that my support is exclusively with Cain Velasquez, his wife, and their family, their kids, all of that. I think I've made that very clear, okay? I told you guys last night on the live stream, when the Marshall Inu crypto project was going on in 2022, this is way before crypto crashed, I did promote that cryptocurrency when all the other UFC guys were. And but when I did that, I made part of my own deal. They only paid me, it doesn't matter what they paid me, significantly less than $25K. And what I said on, when I took the gig is I was like, look, man, if you guys really want to promote this, and what would make it, very enticing for me to do this is if you guys gave, donated $25K to Cain Velasquez's family. It's right when it happened. And they did. Okay. So this is I've empathized with them heavily. The thought of me being in prison for a thing like that and my wife being out there with my kids alone, it was heavy, dude. It was heavy. And I'm glad they did that, dude. I hope it was helpful. And now Cain's going to be out pretty soon. He might, I don't even know how, if he's going to Dubs is not, he's saying that he might not go into that. I don't know. That math doesn't line up. We'll find out tomorrow if he's, what his real prison time is going to be. So listen, I want to finish the Cain part with this. Okay. This was best case scenario. Pretty much. When I was saying yesterday that there was a chance he might not go in, it was based on that judge's statement. And I will kind of recap that really quick. Okay. Because what the judge had said, and again, I am definitely going to show you who his former judge was. What the judge had said, well, first of all, the guy was a former defense attorney, which means he's going to align with the defendant much more than a former prosecutor who becomes a judge. He specifically cited the crime of passion defense. He said that there was no benefit in Cain being taken away from his family. He said that he trusted Cain not to do anything else while he's out and jeopardize his family. He cited the fact that Cain had done nothing wrong. Like he said all of these things that were literally like point for point what you would argue if you were trying to get Cain as little jail time as possible. And that's what the judge said when he granted him bail. Okay. Now, what he was facing prior to that, okay, was Shalina Brown. Okay, so this is again, let me just show you what she looks like. All right, here you go. Ready? Okay, oops. Okay, this is what she looks like. Okay, Shalina Brown, she, her. Okay, she, her. So again, I just want you to speculate the likelihood that she was going to be super understanding about a father who took the actions that Cain did. Probably 0% chance. And she, her means passionate, what side of the political aisle. And Cain had his defense paid for, certainly by UFC guys, and I'm sure anyone with a brain would have speculated since he had Mark Garagos, who's a 7-figure retainer guy, that Dana White very likely had something to do with his defense fund. And who got Trump elected? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a high likelihood that the association with the big guy would have led to a much worse sentence. So I am very, very glad that that is not what happened. Okay, we're going to have a lot more information coming out on this, but I wanted to get this video out fast. So congratulations to Cain. Congratulations to his family. And for everybody else who has kids, you guys understand this is best case scenario. Okay, like he shot a guy and he got time served plus probably a couple years. So, man, I'm so glad that didn't go the other way. But again, like I said, going into it yesterday, before I knew that they had switched judges, I would have bet anything against 5 years. I would have been like, hey, it's going to be way more than that. So I'm very glad that, this guy went out on a limb, did the right thing, took care of Cain, and now he's not going to destroy another family. This woman would have destroyed another family in the name of justice. Like I'm not saying she's like a bad person, but that's exactly what would have happened. She would have destroyed another family and she would have told herself, well, we need to set the precedent. You can't let this thing slide. It's like, actually you kind of can, But nonetheless, that's what I got. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, tell your friends. I love you guys. Bye-bye.